it all started nearly 35 years ago when he co-founded the legendary music label Def Jam Records. He launched the careers of Run DMC, the Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, I Can't Live Without My Radio, and Public Enemy, Elvis Was a Hero to Most, among many others. He was instrumental in catapulting hip-hop as a true American art form. He is an icon.
Why would you forget Kanye and Jay-Z?
Get that on tape. Get that on tape.
I have to go back and make you do a reaction.
I mean, do we have to do Kanye and Jay? Who else? But did you launch the career of Jay-Z?
I signed Kanye's first time you ever seen him was
I ain't
on
said
Def
Kanye.
Poetry, right?
I said Jay-Z.
Jay-Z was on the Ready to Cut the soundtrack.
Go on back, I got you. Oh, we got to do it again.
No.
Please welcome Russell Simmons.
I figured you are a hip-hop historian. I don't want you to. He's a hip-hop historian, right? Which way, this side?
Come on over here. Come on over here.
If you don't mind.
I don't mind sitting next to Claudia.
Yeah.
I knew for a couple of weeks.
We chose that seat for a reason.
Since you directing the darn program,
Well, I'm not directing the program, but I didn't.
I was going to ask you how you've been, but I see you're pretty spicy right now.
Feel the same.
And look how young he looks. Like, you look really young right now.
I'm not.
You do look young, man.
I'm 60.
Well, look, you just mentioned, all right, Kanye, Jay, and so on. I mean, we don't even have time in the introduction to talk about what you've done. You've been pretty remarkable. You're a self-made entrepreneur. You and Rick Rubin doing your thing back in the day. Just tell us what the inspiration for that was, man.
You know, we find something we love, you do the same, and we try to give it to everyone else, right?
Right.
That's what my career has been. Things that I love, I've given. There was hip-hop, but there were no records.
Right.
We made records.
Right.
There were no movies for them, we made movies. And, you know, they wanted to express themselves through poetry, and we created a platform. That's kind of, you know, All Def Digital is a bunch of young people who wouldn't be able to express themselves otherwise, and we gave them a platform.
Well, you got a legendary career now. Now you got a biopic coming out, you know, about you, made with the creator of Blackish. I mean, what are we going to learn about in this biopic that we's like, dang, that's Russell Simmons?
Well, there's a lot of self-reflection, you know, in at least the way I envision, and I've talked to the writer quite a bit. But beyond that, there was, you know, a lot of personal evolution. I kind of view myself as Forrest Gump. Like, I saw it all. I walked Biggie to his car. I made Tupac's last movie. I, you know, was involved in and watched a lot of things happen. A lot of talented people helped to create what we built, right? And those people have not been celebrated, so I want a lot of that to happen.
A lot of people jump on hip hop. Oh, it's a lot of violence, these young men. But you saw early on, I've seen, you know, you and I have been on several different panels and engagements where we're trying to defend these young men. What is it about hip hop
Honesty.
that makes
people can't
so upset?
stomach the honesty. I don't think they're any more sexist than the preachers. Not close, right?
Wow.
The rabbis,
I guess that's true. That's true. That's true.
the rabbis, the imams, you know, more sexist than the rappers.
Yeah. Because they try to make God justify what they're doing. At least the rappers are honest about it.
Yeah, no, also, yeah, just the expression. I mean, again, then less sexist, less homophobic, certainly less racist. And their violence is a reflection of what we see and they live. And, you know, and I would say that they are accurate reflections of what's in the hearts of the mainstream of America.
Well, what do you think about the fact that Jay-Z has released a new album, 444, that we've been talking about? And you talk about, you know, the first rapper, as far as I know, of that magnitude who not only outs his mother with her permission as queer, talks about financial freedom and responsibility, and speaks about his own infidelity. I mean, that's grown-up hip-hop right there.
I think there's always been a lot of grown-up hip-hop, but Jay, because of the longevity of his career, we all come to a point where we realize that we can't do it alone. That we are part of a collective, and our job is service to others, right? We know that. You know, and we get older, it becomes more clear to us that that's our gateway to happiness or our own, you know, evolution. So when a person like Jay is, you know, have to experience all that stuff, you know, he had to, in order for it to be good, authenticity is key for him. Right. Right? So he's giving you an authentic view of what a man his age had been through, what he's been through, should be thinking. If you ask any rapper a question, they'll give you the highest answer. The best answer. Right. But in their music, they give you their heart, which not always matches. You know, we don't always remember what we know in our heart.
Right.
You know, we don't. We don't remember. I mean,
that's one of the things that I've come to appreciate about hip hop so much. Actually, I've learned it some from you. But, you know, I used to really not understand it. I think a lot of white culture doesn't understand it in some ways until we embrace that this is an expression of the culture. This is an expression of the experience and the heart, like you were saying. So, you know, it's so moving.
Well,
what you
poetry
see.
has always been, throughout the ages, a truth teller. That's why they're always the ones who are the human rights people throughout the ages. They're always the ones who tell us what we're thinking and hiding in our heart.
Right.
You know, they're always the ones because that's why they stand up so often.
Do you think it's more honest now than it was?
No.
You think it was just always honest?
It's always, yeah, that's what poets and artists do.
Yeah.
It just
Right.
seems like the trends, like, you know, I feel like what made Jay-Z so, with the album 444, it's so incredible, it emerged in a time where I think it's a kind of, for me personally, as a fan of hip hop, I feel like it's kind of the dark ages of hip hop right now with all this mumble rap. Yes, it's fun to dance to. I like it. It's fun to just kind of like not really think about it, but they're not really speaking to some of the things that some of the classic artists are speaking to. The Commons, the Public Enemies, all those kind of.
You know, we like to say that, but we always, you know, the mumble rap is, well, there's a fun record. You want to dance to it. It's rhythmic, it's fun, and it's, you know, it's a part of what's in that young person's experience and everybody's. We like to look back as if we were different. Oh yeah, when we were younger, we said police, and we said we said horrible stuff. Police was good. I mean, that was a moment where we talked about police brutality and we created a dialogue between police and community, and it came, you know, but remember some of the other songs.
Right.
Those really smart songs, like, I mean, I could give you some names of
Go
songs.
to the doctor, come on.
Go see a doctor. Yeah, that's really old too. You shouldn't remember that.
I told you I'm old school.
Or you talk too much. But see, right, that. But look at it. So it is true because mumble rap is akin to a certain kind of blues aesthetic anyway, and there's a kind of nostalgia that we see the pass through the haze. But I think Claudia's point is well taken in the sense that the maturation of hip hop coming to full age, because there are some things, you know, we were talking backstage. I think Kingdom Come was with Jay-Z trying to put his toe in the water, but people weren't quite ready. But they're ready now. You got Black Lives Matter going on now. You got social movement going on now. It pushes the artists to do what they got to do anyway. They don't do it out of a vacuum.
That's right. It's always a reflection of where the culture is. Of course.
Right.
You know, but the honesty in Jay has to do with his maturity. And I think it's the right thing to do. And I applaud him for it. I think it's a great album. But I think it's what he's supposed to do.
Right. Well, when you think about the fact that your own maturation, look at you. I mean, as a hip hop mogul, you're living a life in one sense, baby fat, all the entrepreneurial stuff you did, but now, you know, you're doing yoga, you're doing meditation, you've got a spiritual practice that you're very proud of. Tell us about your own evolution.
I find that it's, you know, because of a spiritual practice, you learn that when you're present, you can turn on a dime and you can do new things, and you don't have to be, you're not who you're defined as. You know, you don't have to do what they put in your, you know, they've defined you and you have to live that only. You know, you can move, you can evolve.